Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to start a new series on the Dell PowerEdge R7525. In this video we're going to specifically focus on CPUs, but in the video series as a whole we're going to cover CPUs, memory, drives, RAID, networking cards, how to put in the rack behind you, supported operating systems, how to update your BIOS, plus a ton more. So click that like, smash that subscribe. Let's get going. Hey, thanks for stopping by today to learn a little bit more about the Dell PowerEdge R7525. As I mentioned, this is going to be the first video in our series, and we're going to cover processors. So what we're going to do in this video as a whole, we're going to go over some general information. We're going to talk about the types of processors we recommend, because we get asked that all the time. And at the very end, we're going to show you how to physically remove your old processor and install a new processor. So if you're here for the install, fast forward about halfway. Let's get going. All right, so let's start off with some general information. We're going to go over some general information about the server and about the CPUs as a whole, since this is the first video in the series. So let's talk about the server first. So this is part of the 15th gen. So when you look at the R7525, that first 5, that 7.5, that 5 is saying it is in the 15th gen. So if you look at like an R650 or an R6515, that 5 is saying it is in the 15th gen. Same thing if you look at R640, it's a 14th gen, R630, 13th gen, and so on and so forth, okay? And the 2 that follows that is saying that there are 2 CPUs inside. So that R752, the 2 is 2 CPUs inside. And that 5 at the end is telling you that they're AMD CPUs, which, you know anything about me, I love AMD. We're going to come back to that. Now, if there's a 0 at the end, that's telling you there's Intel inside. So like all the R740s and 640s and 630s, all that stuff is old Intel stuff. And I bring that up because it's really around the 15th gen that AMD really just kind of took the throne, right? I've been selling servers for a little over 20 years now, and for the first 15 years of my career, Intel was king of the hill, right? They were the best. Literally, I remember seeing chips that we had at an old company I worked at that had initials for the engineers from AMD and the engineers from Intel, because Intel was going to be a monopoly, so they were sending their engineers to help AMD out, right? Now AMD is just kicking Intel's ass, and it's kind of weird, honestly. It's just if you've been around long enough, Intel was just so good for so long that it's weird to see AMD just beating them down. But I love AMD, big AMD fan, and this is actually when we started actually kind of pivoting away from Dell, because they weren't as into AMD as we were. So this is when Supermicro and Giga Computing or really Gigabyte, which is now Giga Computing, and Asus and some of these other guys really, they pushed forward and did a lot of AMD product, and that's when we started really selling some of the other boxes that we sell. But all that being said, this is a really, really nice system. There are 2 CPUs inside. It is AMD. It's going to be AMD EPYC 7002, which is the Rome series, or 7003, which is the Milan series. And so those were really, like I said, the generation that kind of took over, and they'd be in comparison to 2nd gen and 3rd gen scalable Intel, but these just really kind of blow them out of the water, right? All right, so what CPUs do we recommend? Well, really, we break it down into 3 categories. We have our low end, our value, and our high end, and really it's kind of self-explanatory, right? The low end is going to be your budget-friendly, lower end specs. Your value is going to be that sweet spot where you get good specs, doesn't break the bank, but it's not going to be the best processors. The high end is going to be some of our favorite flavors of the higher end processors, especially on the 64 core side. Now, I do want to note one processor on here in particular that I like, which is a Rome processor, and that's the 7742. Right now, that is the best priced 64 core CPU out there, so a big fan of that one. And if you want a Milan, there's a bunch of great 64 cores. We used to use a lot of 7C13s. Those are no longer available and have gotten kind of expensive. We use a lot of 7713s or 7713Ps. That P just means you can only put one processor per. So for this box, the 7713P isn't as good because you would only then be able to put one inside, so you'd really want the 7713. And again, there's a couple other great 64 cores that we have listed as well on the high-end side, but those are just some of the processors we recommend. And if you're curious saying, hey, what what might be the best processor for the application that I'm using, please email us at sales@cloudninjas.com, and we would love the opportunity to quote your data center. All right, now that we know a little bit more general information about the box, the CPUs, what do we recommend, let's go ahead and start our install. But before we do, I'm going to grab my ESD gear and be right back.
Hey, it's Mason with Cloud Ninjas, and today I'll be showing you guys how to properly remove an old processor and install a new one into your Dell PowerEdge R7525 server. As you can see, we have all the required materials. We have our processor, a T20-bit screwdriver, a new tube of thermal paste, and a clean rag to clean off the old thermal paste from the heatsink and old processor. Let's go ahead and set these to the side, pop our latch, and lift our top just like any other server you've been in before. As you can see, we have CPU 1 located here and CPU 2 located here. Now we'll go ahead and remove the cooling fans, so that way it's easier for you guys to see the CPU sockets. So we'll go ahead and flip these 2 blue levers up on the sides and then lift the cooling fan straight up and out of the server. Once we have that set on the side, let's go ahead and take a look at the heatsink, and we'll begin unscrewing the heatsink starting here and then going across in an X formation. Now this is important so that way you don't damage the motherboard in any way, so just make sure that the heatsink is being unscrewed in an X formation. It's very similar to unscrewing the lug nuts off a tire whenever you're trying to replace it with a spare or even a new tire. Now once you have it unscrewed from the motherboard, you can simply just lift it straight up, and in flipping it over you'll see all that old thermal paste, and we'll go ahead and clean that in just a little bit. So let's set this to the side for a second, and now take a look at the bracket around the processor. As you can see, there are 3 screws located around the bracket. So go ahead and take that T20-bit screwdriver and unscrew the back 2 first, and then you'll go ahead and unscrew the front one, and the bracket will move up like a hinge, and then you can set that back. Now you will notice these 2 blue tabs right here. They're kind of like 2 blue clips. So we'll go ahead and lift those 2 blue clips up, and then I'll release the processor from the socket. Now all we need to do is simply slide the processor out of that second bracket, and then we'll go ahead and set that to the side. Now to the side of the server, we'll be using that clean rag, and we'll begin cleaning off the old thermal paste from the heatsink and the old processor, since there's still some resale value to it. Now it's important to clean the old thermal paste off to the side of the server and not over the server, so that way we can prevent any of that old thermal paste flaking off and getting into the CPU sockets or the DIMM slots or even the motherboard in general. So just to make sure that we're cleaning that old thermal paste off to the side of the server, that way we're not damaging the server or the motherboard itself. All right, so now that we have our heatsink clean, going back into the server, you will notice this triangle that's located on the CPU here. That triangle will need to match up with the triangle on the corner of the socket located here. So once you have located those 2, you're going to want to slide that processor into the bracket that we slid the old CPU out of, and then you're going to go ahead and set it down into the socket by pressing down on those 2 blue tabs. So now we'll go ahead and take the next bracket and we'll set it down, and then we'll grab our T20-bit screwdriver and start screwing in all the screws around it just to secure the processor in place. So now we'll grab our new tube of thermal paste and begin applying it to the top of the processor. Now some say we use too much and others say we use too little, but really you want to find a nice even balance of thermal paste. You don't want to put too much or else it'll leak out and get into the DIMM slots and the motherboard, and you don't want to put too little or else you might run into some overheating issues. So just make sure you're applying a nice even balance of thermal paste along the top. All right, so once that is done, we can go ahead and set our heatsink back on top and begin screwing the heatsink in the X formation that we did when we removed it. And there you go. That's how you properly remove an old processor and install a new one into your Dell PowerEdge R7525 server. Hey, do us a favor, click that like button and smash the subscribe. If you're looking for any custom built Dell, HPE, Supermicro, Gigabyte, Asus, Cisco, IBM, maybe you're looking for an AMD Ryzen server or even a GPU compute server, we do it all. We have both new and refurbished, so please give us a call or email us at sales@cloudninjas.com. That's sales@cloudninjas.com. Anyways guys, thanks for stopping by.